I mean, most everybody, you can have a family member, best friend, or even actual another content creator, or so. Who give me might be three, or might just be one. It's up to you, but give me up to three people in your life that inspired you to put you where you are sitting actually today. So helped you through your journey, helped you focus, gave you good advice. Who are those people?
Hmm. All right. Well, the first one would definitely be my dad.
Okay.
So growing up, my dad was always traveling for work, and it kind of sucked. It's like it's bittersweet, dude, because there's still pieces of me that are like fucked up by it.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't around a lot when I was little. My parents are still together. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thankful for that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? They've somehow kept their relationship intact, which is a beautiful thing to see. But like especially going through high school, bro, like my dad wasn't there all the time, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really have that like solid masculine role model. But the thing that I can salvage from all of that was the whole time, dude, I knew that like, yo, dad's out working, dad's out hustling.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? He might not be here for me right now, but he's doing things that so he can be here for me and provide for my whole family and we can live like a good life. You know what I mean? So that
Okay.
was something that I always really internalized. And there was a moment when I was younger, like 5 or 6, and I was, complaining about doing some like yard work, like picking up sticks or spreading some mulch in the garden, whatever, just some dumb shit that I
Mm-hmm.
probably should have done. But being 6, I was like, oh, I want to go ride my bike instead or whatever. My grandfather came up to me and he's like, dude, I want you to know that like your father's the hardest working man I've ever met in my life. And that even at 6 years old, bro, that memory, just like the whole, like the
Mm-hmm.
way he said it, the way things looked and felt like that's a memory that just got like burned into my skull. And so I was like, damn, like my grandfather, who's done a lot for himself too, is like saying this. And I'm like, damn, like my dad's fucking, he really worked hard, bro. He hustled. So seeing that and feeling that was something that kind of always instilled that work ethic in me, like knowing that he was always out working and shit
Mm-hmm.
uh really kind of set the tone and the pace for me of like, okay, like if I want to be successful, if I want to do something, I want to run a business, like I know how many hours he's putting in, I know the type of stuff that he's doing. So like I need to live up to that. I got shoes to fill, bro. Like I can model that and emulate that. There's a lot of other pieces of his life that I don't agree with that have impacted me negatively for sure. But I would say that the biggest thing is just the work ethic and the grind and the focus and only putting, what he had to do to support his family first. And that stuck with me a lot. So number one is dad. Um, Number two, um, kind of the first dude that I really found on like YouTube and the internet that was talking about like red pill type topics
Mm-hmm.
and relationship stuff and just like masculinity that really just like cracked my fucking brain open to the whole idea of it was Richard Cooper. I don't
Mm.
know if you know who that
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I heard of him.
Entrepreneurs in cars.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first guy that I found on YouTube that was making that type of content. And dude, that completely shifted my whole
Mm-hmm.
mindset around like women
Mm-hmm.
and like masculinity and like what it means to be a man and how
Mm-hmm.
to, handle relationships and stuff like that. And it just gave me so many tools and like little seeds that got planted from watching his stuff when I was a little bit younger that eventually evolved. And now, bro, it's awesome because there's an abundance of YouTubers out there and
Yeah.
guys that are, talking about that kind of stuff. But he was the first one that I found that really like made an impact on me and changed the way that I thought about a lot of things. So I would say he's number two. Um, Number three. I like Hamza a lot.
Okay.
Even though there are things that he says that I don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
agree with, I think he's got a really balanced perspective. And I think that he's not like out here trying to prove anything or not trying to put on like an act or be a character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he genuinely, you know, talks about things in a way where it's like, hey, implementing this in my life. Here's the results that I've got, or here's what I'm noticing from my personal experience. And I think there's a lot of relatability with that, where it's not like, hey, here's the 3 steps you need to take to
Yeah.
do this. It's like, okay, I've taken those 3 steps, implemented them into my life, and here's the results that I got. And honestly, that's what I'm trying to model with my channel as well, is not necessarily talking about like, hey, here's the 3 things you need to do to be a masculine man or keep a
Mm-hmm.
woman or
Mm-hmm.
get rich. It's like, hey guys, here I am. I'm a guy. I'm on my journey. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to get there too. Here are the things that I'm learning that I'm implementing into my life. And here's the results that I've got. Here are the things that are working for me. Here are the things that really fucked me up along the way. If you can avoid that, avoid it. If you can follow this and emulate this, I co-sign this. I think this is working for me. So try it out and let me know what you think. That's really the position that
Mm,
I'm trying to be in. It's just like, bro, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm trying to show you how I'm living mine.
mm,
And what you take from that is up to you.
okay. Speaking of women, who would you recommend for same thing, age bracket 18 to 21, somebody who's having girl troubles? Who
Mm.
who did you turn to, and who would you recommend they turn to? Who helped you?
Again, I gotta say Richard Cooper, bro. He was the
Mm,
first one that really put me on to like red pill ideology.
okay.
Um, I would say more so than people. For one, Richard Cooper, he's got a book called The Unplugged Alpha. That's a fire read. The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. That's an amazing book. I think that one's really honest in its perspective. And it's not necessarily like some of the red pill stuff, like there's a spectrum of it, right?
Mm,
And some of it is more like pickup artists, like, bro, fuck bitches, be toxic, just
mm,
smash and like, do
yeah.
what you got to do to close the deal. And then there's also like, okay, here's how you keep and maintain a relationship, and you got to present yourself and be a certain type of, just like how to actually manage those relationships. And I think that the book, The Way of the Superior Man, is a very balanced uh perspective on that, where it's not necessarily like pickup artistry, but it's also more like, okay, as a man, here are some things that you need to be doing outside of your relationship
Mm,
for your relationship to actually function and be high quality in and of itself. So I really, really like those books. 48 Laws of Power is good too. I know that one's becoming pretty popular.
yeah, I
That
was
one's been
say I think
blowing
I
up
recently heard of
recently.
that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good, bro. And a lot of people want to be quick to say like, "Oh, this is super toxic," and "Oh, this is manipulative." But at the end of the day, bro, there are people out there that move like that. And whether or not you want to adopt some of those principles is totally up to you. But also just knowing how people think and how people can use certain things against you is a really good defense mechanism as well. So
Mm,
just being aware of that stuff, honestly, is really helpful. So I'd say that those three books is what I would turn to for like guys struggling with relationships.
okay. I'm gonna have to write those down too, so I can put them in the links.